What's going on, guys? This is Josh with GearGasm, bringing you a tuner shootout today of 4 clip-on guitar tuners that are in the sub $30 price range. We'll be looking at the Snark SN-2, the GoGoTuners TT-1, the Fishman FT-1, and the Planet Waves CT-10. Now, all of these tuners come in at a $29.99 price point, with the exception of the Fishman FT-1, which comes in at $24.99. Now, to compare these 4 tuners, we're going to break it down into 4 categories, dealing with the tuner's accuracy, its modes and features, visibility in both low light and direct light situations, and finally the clip-on mobility of the tuner itself. Let's go ahead and jump into the tuner's accuracy. Jumping over to the piezo accuracy portion, all of the tuners showed an accurate tune, although the Snark and the GoGo tuner were much easier to read. The Snark also seemed to sit very well on the guitar's headstock, being completely out of the way. Moving on to the modes and features of each tuner, the Snark SN-2 has both mic and piezo settings, featuring a single chromatic mode in terms of tuning, and has the widest range of hertz calibration out of the tuners we compared. It has flat settings up to 4 half steps, and comes with a built-in metronome, although that metronome is only a visible metronome. It has no audio. The GoGoTuner TT-1 has both mic and piezo settings as well, and comes with the most tuning modes, featuring 5 modes for guitar, bass, viola, violin, and a chromatic setting. It can also be flatted up to 4 half steps and has a solid hertz calibration range from 430 to 450 hertz. The Fishman FT-1, like the others, has both mic and piezo modes, 4 settings for tuning, including guitar, bass, chromatic, and a ukulele setting, which is kind of cool. It can be flatted up to 4 half steps as well, but in terms of calibration is a bit more limited, from 435 to 445 hertz. Moving on to the Planet Waves CT-10, we find the least functionality of all the tuners we've looked at. A single chromatic setting and limited hertz range. The calibration button was kind of awkwardly placed as well, and you had to press it every time to scroll through the settings. You couldn't just hold the button down and let it scroll for you. In direct light, the Snark and GoGo tuner are the most visible, with the GoGo tuner being the brightest with the widest viewing angle. In a low light situation, both the Planet Waves and Fishman tuners are difficult to see, with the Planet Waves being dim, and although the Fishman was bright, the viewing angle was awful and hard to read. The Snark and GoGo were both easily readable, and again the GoGo being a little bit brighter and a wider viewing angle. Finally, looking at the clip-on mobility, the GoGo tuner and Snark jump ahead with their double-jointed design, with the GoGo TT-1 being a bit more flexible. Taking all this into consideration, we can narrow it down to the Snark SN-2 and the GoGo tuner TT-1. Between the two, the GoGo tuner has a brighter screen, wider viewing angle, more tuning functions, was easy to spot in low light, and has a bit more flexibility than the Snark. The Snark was smaller, had a very well-designed screen, slightly wider hertz range, and came with that metronome functionality, although it was only a visible metronome. In terms of looks, it comes down to personal preference. I personally like the look of the Snark a little bit more due to its sleeker design and matte finish, but when it comes down to the tuner functionality, the GoGo tuner comes out on top. Hope you've enjoyed this tuner shootout. We've provided links to all these tuners in the description. I'm Josh with GearGasm. See you guys next time.